Hey everybody, it's Earlie James and I'm here. I'm so excited to talk to you about my new children's book, Don't Tell. Give you an inside edition on what inspired the book and how you can gain more information to get a copy of it for children that you know and love. 35 million children, or 33% of children in America, have experienced one or more traumatic events in their life. And events that children find deeply distressing and disturbing can also lead to toxic outcomes if they do not have the proper support in place. Don't Tell is a story of a young child whose mom is in a relationship with a gentleman who is both physically and verbally abusive to the child, and ultimately he attempts to molest him. And the child has to find the courage to use his voice to bring it to his mom's attention, even though he has been threatened by the gentleman not to tell. Don't Tell encourages children who have experienced a traumatic event in their life to use their voice to get the help that they need. Many years ago, I was inside of a retail establishment, and in front of me was a little boy with his mom and a gentleman. And the gentleman and the mom were in an altercation at the time, verbally. And he was hiding behind his mom. When the gentleman walked away, the little boy looked up to his mom and says, "Does he have to come home with us this weekend?" And she looks down at him, rubs his face and says, "Baby, it's gonna be a long weekend." And when he said that, or she said that to him, it just caused an explosion to go off inside of me. And I went home that night and wrote this story, Don't Tell. The target age group for Don't Tell, our audience, is ages 7 to 11. And we understand that we're gonna be dealing with children in two different scenarios. One, children who have not experienced a traumatic event in their life. For that group, we want to give them a blueprint to help them to understand what to do if something happens where they have an interaction with someone that is toxic. Number two, we're going to be talking to, unfortunately, children who have experienced a traumatic event in their life. And for that group, we want to help them with a roadmap. And so in this story, we teach 4 things. Number one, we want children to breathe, the power of breathing, understanding that the information that they have to share can be very difficult and may be challenging and intimidating to them. And so we teach them to breathe. Number two, we want them to understand it. What do you want to say? And so in this story, the child's process for bringing this to his mom's attention after trying verbally and the mother missing the cues was that he sat down and wrote a letter to his mom. And so we want people to understand, what are you trying to say? Number three, once you understand what you're trying to say, who do you trust? And so we want children to know in advance, who are the people that I feel comfortable with, who do I trust? And that is the segue to step 4, which is tell them. And through this 4-step process, whether it's a child who has not gone through a traumatic event, and they need a blueprint, or it is a child who has gone through a traumatic event and they need a roadmap, they will all understand the 4-step process of learning how to use their voice to get the help that they need. The ideal environment for Don't Tell would be anywhere where children congregate. And so we don't want to move past or beyond the power of the living room, right? Because that's where all learning begins, in the home. But children are also in other environments. They're in elementary schools, learning centers, after-school programs, group homes, as well as in churches. And so we want to arm adults who have children around them to be able to have open and honest conversations with their children to give them either a blueprint or a roadmap to walk them through difficult challenges in their life and show them how to overcome. Currently, Don't Tell is available in paperback and also an ebook. We are in the development right now for an audiobook, and by the first quarter of 2022, we will also have an animated series. So why would we put all of these things together for a children's book? Well, the answer is simple. We're designing what we call a Don't Tell package. And in the Don't Tell package will be an animated series that adults or therapists or whomever that are interacting with children can watch with the child, have the book for open discussion. There will also be a discussion guide with questions that have been designed by mental health professionals to help them to open up if there is something difficult that they have to share. For more information on Don't Tell, you're welcome to go to earlyjames.com. And if you are a school, a learning center, an after-school program, a group home, a church, and you have a large group of children that you would like to bring the Don't Tell experience to, reach out to us again at earlyjames.com.